Tunisia had been under the allegedly corrupt and authoritarian rule of President Zain El Abidine Ben Ali for more than 2 decades. In December 2010, a vegetable vendor named Mohamed Bouazizi set himself on fire in front of a Tunisian government office and killed himself. He set a fire that spread to dozens of countries, destroying governments and defeating dictatorships and armies. Bouazizi's desperate action sparked a revolutionary uprising that has come to be known as the Arab Spring. Who was Mohamed Bouazizi? Why did he kill himself? And how did his death bring a revolutionary change throughout the world? Mohamed Bouazizi was a produce vendor in Tunisia. On December 17, 2010, he was approached by the Tunisian authorities about his unlicensed cart. Despite offering to pay a fine, his vegetables were confiscated and he was publicly humiliated by the police. After this, he approached the local officials and complained about being harassed, only to be refused a hearing. When Bouazizi couldn't stand the insult, he set himself on fire in front of a government office, killing himself. Following Bouazizi's death due to injuries on January 4, 2011, he became a martyr who inspired many struggling with unemployment under the influence of a corrupt government. His death sparked a revolution. Tunisians took to the streets to demand the president of Tunisia to step down. As a result, the Tunisian government fell and President Ben Ali fled the country. The protest was widely shared on social media, raising global awareness about how powerful protests can be. Social media played a significant role in facilitating communication and interaction among participants of political protests. The speed and success of Tunisian protest inspired other regions. Throughout January 2011, protests erupted in Algeria, Jordan, Oman, Egypt, Syria, Yemen, Iraq, Libya, and several other countries. Consistent demonstrations, marches, occupations of plazas, non-violent civil resistance, acts of civil disobedience, and strikes made Egyptian President Hosni Mubarak step down. And by the end of the year, Yemen's government and Libya's dictatorship were also overthrown. While some of the Arab Spring protests did result in progress, not all of them resulted in a positive change. In some cases, uprisings were co-opted by religious extremists and terrorists. ISIS, for example, took advantage of the revolt against secular Arab regimes to further its own agenda. As a turn-down of events, in some of the places like Syria, when the government toppled, these rebel groups stepped in to occupy the void using strong armed tactics. The civil war in Syria has led to massive famine and refugee crisis in the region. What is known as one of the world's most longest and terrifying humanitarian crises in Syria has resulted in deaths of millions of people, crushed millions of hopes, and destroyed endless families. It has been 11 years since the spark of revolution, and the results in some of the regions are still disappointing. While the Arab Spring gave us the best example on how fast and powerful the technology could be, it also taught the world a lesson on how complicated and unpredictable revolutions can be.